Hi there folks, welcome to Oxford. I'd love to show you around the city. There's so many things to see and to do. Now my name is Alistair, known in Oxford as the Mad Hatter.
Hi, my name's Jamie Thorogood. I work for the University of Oxford. I'm 33 years old, married. I have one beautiful daughter called Claudia, and I work in Oxford but don't live here anymore.
My name is Qazi Waheed and I'm 35 years old. I'm an academician, so my profession is that I teach, and I'm an educationist as well.
I come from Scotland originally, and I love showing people around Oxford. The climate here is a lot better. This time in the evening, it's beautiful to see the light on the buildings. Now, I do guided tours of Oxford and some other cities like Bath, and I dress up in costume as either the Mad Hatter or Mr. Darcy. And what we do is we show people the sights. We tell you all about what you can see and do in Oxford and offer an insight into Oxford life.
I found the things that inspired me, like the various human rights movements in Oxford, the animal rights movements in Oxford, the great work that's done by the council and by charities. A lot of that was being almost blamed for making Oxford a place that certain people, certain very vocal people, didn't want it to be. And that's why I decided to leave. But coming back, I can see that these things are still going, they're still active, and they're still inspirational. So, and a lot of that, the sort of working class will to get on rather than succeed, that inspires me because it reminds me of home. I wasn't born in Oxford, I was born in London, in East London, and it's a very different, when you come to Oxford, it's a very different feeling from being somewhere like Dagenham or Romford or somewhere like that.
Every building has a story to tell, and many people come to see this. Lots of people call this the Bridge of Sighs, because Oxford is more than just the colleges and the university. It's also got lots of English history, and it has many quirky stories to tell.
I'm inspired here from so many things, from a tour guide to their end product, which is a student. Met few students, met parents, because I was lucky to be here on a very special day, which was their graduation day. Their parents were very happy seeing their kids graduating from the best institute in the world. I'm taking a lot of things back with me back home, and a few of the good things that I'm taking back is that one, the infrastructure, the architecture over here is remarkable. You would love to be in their classroom. The moment you walk into the city, the moment you walk these buildings, you get motivation to be part here, to be part of the classroom here. The only place that you want to be here when you see these buildings would be a classroom for the rest of your life.
Now, one of the things I find so inspiring about Oxford is every building has a story to tell. Up here we have the initials, Thomas Bodley, TB, of the man who renovated the Bodleian, what was originally called the Duke Humphreys Library. There's many sculptures built into the walls, and as we wander through here, we've got one of the most beautiful and well-known views in Oxford, called the John Radcliffe Camera, and what a fabulous building it is. You know, it's a camera because that's the Italian word for a room or a chamber, and to get in there you need a reader's card, so you're probably going to have to be quite brainy to get one of those cards.
When I go into London now, it's quite disorientating because the place has changed so much. All these very big glass buildings have gone up, and they've obscured a lot of the beautiful buildings that I used to feel were a part of my home, strangely enough, because it's such a big place. So like St Paul's Cathedral, for example, you can barely see it now because of all the glass buildings. And so it's constantly changing, evolving. Whereas when I come to Oxford, it doesn't change very much. That's very reassuring. I've been coming here for about 15 years, off and on, and I always know where I am, and it always looks beautiful, stunning, doesn't matter what the weather's like. And I think it's almost like there's a sense of tradition here that's embodied in the cityscape. You see the sort of silhouette of Oxford everywhere, plastered on books and BBC News, all sorts. And there's a sort of pride there in this traditional architecture, the traditional facade of Oxford. And I think it comes across almost like a facet of the democracy of the place. If you were living in South London and you'd seen the city change as much as it has over the last decade, it'd give your right arm to have the sort of control over planning applications and the way your home looks that people in Oxford enjoy. And it's an admirable quality because it's kept the place looking beautiful, and I can't see that changing anytime soon.
Comparing it to the place where I belong to, which is Peshawar, there is a lot of difference between these two places. I wish we can utilize the rich culture of Peshawar and transform that city into an educational city like this, where people from all around the world will come and visit and get inspiration from the rich culture that we have back home.
What gives me the most pleasure in Oxford, it's probably not so much the sort of cultural landmarks as such, it's more like the places I've worked. So Banbury Road, Hythe Bridge Street, I have nothing but good feelings about these places, and it all sort of comes back to me. Where I used to live, I lived in Cutslow. Cutslow Park's beautiful. Summertown inspires me, just because it seems like such a nice community. There's a little independent bookshop and lovely pubs, and it's quite inspiring. The park is beautiful, University Parks. But then I would probably say I prefer Iffley Road, because that's where I play football. So I have nicer memories of being up there and kicking a ball around, which is stupid for a man of my age, but there you are.
I wish a time come where all these people who are here to look around in this beautiful city of education, they come down to Peshawar, and we become a city of education as well, and compare ourselves with all the amenities and state-of-the-art technology that Oxford has over here. And I wish our leaders have the vision to make Peshawar as a city like this. And we all wish that our kids go to the schools and colleges that we see here, replicate the same models over there, and make it a city of a city where people can come and visit and get inspiration from.
I see the university from a different perspective to both graduates and probably the larger sort of public. And as far as what you see on TV programs isn't necessarily that's not the Oxford I know. The Oxford I know is made up of hard-working, kind, funny people. It's the best place I've ever worked at.
Yeah, Oxford's an amazing city. I think it'd be difficult to come here and not be inspired by the sights. One of the nicest times to come here is in the evening, after a lot of the visitors have gone. We have all these amazing buildings to visit, and many people come here to study and to refer to the books. But there's a lot more going on in Oxford too. There's lots of musical things. Many students come here to learn English from around the world, and there's always something to do.
I'm Qazi Waheed, and I'm inspired.
So, I hope you're inspired by Oxford too.